Alright, it's for educational purposes. Today I'm going to be reading from the Septuagint Bible. I go by all the Bibles as long as they are truthful and have their little eggs that can show me what is the true way, because none of these Bibles have all the answers. But the Septuagint has a lot of the names, accurate names, so I'm going to be reading from the Septuagint. This is Isaiah, which is Esaias to the Greeks. Okay. The vision which Esaias, the son of Amasal, which he saw against Judah and amongst Jerusalem, in the reign of Esaias, and Jotham, and Achaz, and Ezekias, who reigned over Judea. Hear, O heaven, and hearken, O heart. For the Lord has spoken, saying, I have begotten and reared up children, but they have rebelled against me. The ox knows his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know me, and the people has not regarded me. A sinful nation, a people full of sins and evil seed, lawless children, ye have forsaken the Lord, and provoked the Holy One of Israel. Why should ye be smitten any more, transgressing more and more? The whole head is pained, and the whole heart sad. From the feet to the head, there is no soundness in them, neither wound, no bruise, no festering. Ulcer are healed. It is not possible to apply a plaster, nor oil, no bandages. Your land is desolate. Your cities burn with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is made desolate, overthrown by strange nations. You hear this? This doesn't ring bells to you. I mean, everybody want to say this shit is fake, but this, it gives you guidance and understanding. If you can, like today, when you're dealing with your home area, your hoods, or wherever the hell you live, you gotta deal with a lot of people that's full of shit, and you have to weave through the shit to get the truths. That's the same thing with books. If you're smart enough and you apply yourself, you can take out their personal beliefs and find the truth in everyone's writings. Okay? The daughters of Zion shall be deserted as a tent in a vineyard, and as a storehouse of fruits in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. And if the Lord of Sabbath had not left us a seed, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like Gomorrah. Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodom. See, over here it says Sodoma. So it doesn't say Sodom, it says Sodom, Sodoma, and Gomorrah. Okay? Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers of Sodoma. Attend to the law of God, thou people of Gomorrah. Of what value to me is the abundance of your sacrifices, saith the Lord. I am full of whole burnt offerings and of rams. I delight not in the fat of lambs and the blood of bulls and goats. Neither shall you come with these to appear before me. For who has required these things at your hands? You shall no more tread my court. Thou ye bring fine flour, it is vain. Incense is an abomination to me. I cannot hear your new moons and your Sabbaths and the great day, your fasting and the rest from work. Your new moons also, and your feasts my soul hates. Ye have become loathsome to me. I will no more pardon your sins. When ye stretch forth your hands, I will turn away mine eyes from you. And thou ye make many supplications, I will not hearken to you, for your hands are full of blood. Wash you, be clean, remove your iniquities from your souls before mine eyes. Cease from your iniquities, learn to do well, diligently seek judgment. Deliver him that is suffering wrong, plead for the orphan, and obtain justice for the widow. And come, let us reason together, saith the Lord. And thou your sins be as purple, I will make them white as snow. And thou they be as the scarlet, I will make them white as wool. And if you be willing and hearken to me, ye shall eat the good of the land. But if you not be willing, nor hearken to me, a sword shall devour you, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken this. How has the faithful city Zion, once full of judgment, become a harlot? This is what I see in Hawaii. I know you see it in America too. I know when I used to go and visit my family in Cali, it was totally different. You know what I mean? It's still crazy, but as time went on, it got crazier, and the young ones just had no respect, and people become harlots when we used to be it. And people come and ask you for your guidance. People come ask your grandfather for what should they do? Can he help them? They need help. Now we over here harlots. Even in Hawaii, wherein righteousness lodged, but now murderers, your silver is worthless. They wine merchants mix the wine with water. Thy princes are rebellious, companions of thieves, loving bribes, seeking after rewards, not pleading for orphans, and not heeding the cause of widows. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, woe to the mighty men of Israel, for my wrath shall not cease against mine adversaries, and I will execute judgment on mine enemies. And I will bring my hand upon thee, and purge thee completely, and I will destroy the rebellious, and will take away from thee all transgressors. And I will establish thy judges as before, and thy counselors as at the beginning. And afterwards thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful mother city Zion. For her captives shall be saved with judgment and with mercy, and the transgressors and the sinners shall be crushed together. And they that forsake the Lord shall be utterly consumed, for they shall be ashamed of their idols, which they delighted in, and they are made ashamed of the gardens which they coveted. For they shall be a turpentine tree that has cast its leaves, and as a garden that has no water. And their strength shall be as a thread of tow, and their works as sparks. And the transgressors and the sinners shall be burnt up together, and there shall be none to quench them. The word which came to Esaias, the son of Amos, concerning Judea and concerning Jerusalem. For in the last days the mountain of the Lord shall be glorious, and the house of God shall be on the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall come to it. And many nations shall go and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to tell us his way, and we will walk in it. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord of Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and he shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into the plowshares, and their spears into the sickles. And the nation shall not take up swords against the nation. Neither shall they learn to war any more. And now, O house of Jacob, come and let us walk in the light of the Lord. For he has forsaken his people, the house of Israel, because their land is filed, as at the beginning with divination. So I think it's supposed to say, because their land is defiled, as at the beginning with divinations, and as the land of the Philistines, and many strange children were born to them. For the land is defiled with silver and gold, and there was no number of their treasures. Their land also is filled with horses, and there was no number of their chariots. And the land is defiled with abominations, even the works of their hands, and they have worshipped the works of in which their fingers made. And the mean man bowed down, and the great man was humbled, and I will not pardon them. Now therefore, enter ye into the rocks, and hide yourselves in the earth, for fear of the Lord, and by reason of the glory of his might, when he shall rise to strike terribly the earth. For the eyes of the Lord are high, but man is low. And the haughtiness of men shall be brought low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and haughty. And upon everyone that is high and towering, and they shall be brought down, and upon every cedar of Lebanon, of them that are high and towering, and upon every oak of Bashan, and upon every high mountain, and upon every high hill, and upon every high tower, and upon every high wall, and upon every ship of the sea, and upon every display of fine ships. And every man shall be brought low, and the pride of men shall fall, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And they shall hide all idols made with hands, having carried the rocks and into the caverns of the earth, for fear of the Lord, and by reason of the glory of his might, when he shall rise to strike terribly the earth. For in that day a man shall cast forth his silver and gold abominations, which they made in order to worship vanities and bats, to enter into the caverns of the solid rock, and into the clefts of the rocks, for fear of the Lord, and by reason of the glory of his might, when he shall rise to strike terribly the earth. Behold, now the Lord and the Lord of hosts will take away from Jerusalem and from Judea the mighty man and mighty woman, and the strength of bread and the strength of water, the great and mighty man, the warrior and judge, and the prophet and the counselor, and the elder, the captain of 50 also, and the honorable counselor, and the wise artificer, and the intelligent hearer. I will make youths their princes, and mockers shall have dominion over them. And the people shall fall, and upon man and every man upon his neighbor. The child shall insult the elder man, and the base the honorable. For a man shall lay hold of his brother, and as one of his father's household, saying, Thou hast remained, be thou our ruler, and let my meat be under thee. And he shall answer in that day, and say, I will not be thy ruler, for I have not bread in my house, nor raiment. I will not be the ruler of this people, for Jerusalem is ruined, and Judea has fallen, and their tongues have spoken with iniquity, disobedient as they are towards the Lord. Wherefore now their glory has been brought low, and the shame of their countenance hath withstood them. And they have proclaimed their sin as Sodom, and made it manifest. Woe to their soul, for they have devised an evil counsel against themselves, saying against themselves, let us bind the just, for he is a burdensome to us. Therefore they shall eat the fruits of their works. Woe to the transgressor! Evil shall happen to him according to the works of his hands. O my people, your exactors stripe you, and extortioners rule over you. O my people, they that pronounce you blessed lead you astray, and pervert the path of your feet. But now the Lord will stand up for judgment, and will enter into judgment with his people. The Lord himself shall enter into judgment with the elders of the people, and with their rulers. By why have ye set my vineyards on fire? And why is the spoil of the poor in your houses? Why do ye wrong my people, and shame the faces of the poor? Thus saith the Lord, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and have walked with an outstretched neck, and with winking of the eyes and motion of the feet, at the same time drawing their garments in trains, and at the same time sporting with their feet. Therefore the Lord will humble the chiefs, daughters of Zion, and the Lord will expose their form in that day. And the Lord will take away the glory of their remnant, the curls and the fringes, the crescents and the chains and the ornaments of their faces. Aren't your chain, fringes, curls? Don't they want to take this away? Haven't they taken away so much? Realize what predicament you are in, oh brothers and sisters. And the array of glorious ornaments, and the armlets, and the bracelets, and the rich work, and the finger rings, and the ornaments for the right hand, and the earrings, and the garments with scarlet borders, and the garments with purple grounds, and the shawls to be worn in the house, and the Spartan transparent dresses, and those made of fine linen, and the purple ones, and the scarlet ones, and the fine linen interwoven with gold and purple, and the light covering for couches. And there shall be, instead of a sweet smell dust, and instead of a girdle, thou shalt gird thyself with a rope. And instead of a golden ornament for the head, thou shalt have baldness on account of thy works. I don't know about you, but I haven't grown my hair out. This is the first time ever. I never even knew I had an afro. I just thought I had curly ass hair. I have an afro. I didn't know my dad had an afro. I barely knew my dad, but I was at his sister's house. He's passed away when I was a teenager. But I was at his sister's house. She lives in Hawaii now. And we was having some get together, and I seen a picture on the wall, and it was my dad with an afro at the river with my mom. And I always remember my mom, like, she'd tell me about my dad. She would be like, oh, because she liked white guys, right? Because in Hawaii, they went through a mass, like, manipulation and programming to the native person. So a lot of the natives went to the white, and they also destroyed the man seed, and they imprisoned them. So they, like, you didn't want to get a Hawaiian man because you most likely wouldn't be as well off financially. and they seen a white man as the glorious everything of everything, you know. So they gravitated. So my dad wasn't white, obviously, he's an Afro. So my mom said how persistent he was. And she used to say, "Oh, your dad could dance so good." She said we used to always go and dance, and she go with his big ass afro, and like she would always say that. And I was just thinking, maybe he like the gel or a hairspray. Maybe he like made his hair like an afro because that was the style in those days, right? In the 70s and whatever. So I was like, all my life I just thought he just like made an afro. That was the style. But and then I seen that picture in my auntie's house. Like, is that my dad? And it's like, yeah. He had an afro, and it was like, yeah, he had an afro. Yeah. So fuck, man. They've done all of this to us, and if you just look back on your own life, you can validate everything. And instead of the tunic with the scarlet ground, thou shalt gird thyself with sackcloth, and thy most beautiful son, who thou lovest, shall fall by the sword, and your mighty men shall fall by the sword, and shall be brought low, and the stores of your ornaments shall mourn, and thou shalt be left alone, and thou shalt be leveled with the ground. And 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own remnant,